Hello students, in today's class we are going to discuss about a new chapter working with list and dictionaries. So regarding list we have already discussed in the previous classes about the basic things, and now we are going to discuss about the list operations, how to traverse through a list and what are the methods and built-in functions available in list, and importantly about list manipulation. So we are going to discuss many more things about the concept list separately, and after that, followed by that, we are going to discuss about dictionaries. So first, let us see what is meant by a list. So when it comes to the list concept, when will you say it is a list? So list is obviously a data type, right? So it is one among the sequence data types. So sequence here, list is an ordered sequence. And even one more thing, if you consider list is mutable, that is the values of the list can be changed anywhere in between your program, and it is made up of one or more elements. So if you consider the list, it is much similar to the string concept. Whereas in string it can consist of only the characters. Where in string, what we will do here is whatever you enclose within a single or double quotes, that will be considered as a string. But in list, the same you will do. It consists of the different data types like integer, floating point, or the string, that is the character. But you will enclose within the square brackets, whereas the elements inside the list are separated by commas. So that is how the list will be represented. So list is actually very useful to group elements of mixed data types. And the elements of all the list, if you see, it is enclosed in square brackets as we have discussed already. And one more thing is the items in the list that we create, it is not necessary that it should be of the same data type. So it can consist of different data types even, or it can be a mix of data types like strings or floating point or integer. So it can be a mixed up of all these data types. It is not, there is no such restriction like you have to use only the integer values, or you have to use only the floating point values and all. So let us see some examples based on the list concept. So if you look at this example here, list one is a variable, and for that variable we have assigned a list which consists of 6 even numbers starting from 2 till 12. And if you give print of list 1, what will happen? Whatever values is present here in the list, everything gets printed as such in the form of list format. Yes, that is enclosed within square brackets and separated by commas. And let us see the next example. So list 2. Here list 2 is a variable, and for that variable they have created a list with vowels like A, E, I, O, U. So when we are creating a list, each and every value will hold an index position. For example, if you consider A will hold the index position 0, and E will hold the index position 1, I will hold the index position 2. So all the values in the list will be stored in the form of index positions only, because instead of accessing the entire list, if we want to access only one particular element, we can make use of the index position to access that particular value, right? So for that purpose, all the values are stored in the form of index. And here they have accessed the entire list, so this entire list will be displayed over here. And even if you see here, it is a combination of mixed data types, 100, 23.5 and hello. So list 3 is a variable, and for this variable they have created a list of mixed data types. 100 belongs to integer, 23.5 belongs to floating point, and hello is a string data type. So, and if you look at the fourth example here, even this is also possible. That is, even you can create a nested list. So nested list means one list inside the another list. So list 4 is a variable, and for that variable what we have done here is this first bracket and this last bracket represents that it is an overall list. So one list has been created, but inside this list we have created three lists. So physics comma 101 is one list, chemistry comma 202 is a second list, and mathematics comma 303 is a third list. So one list inside another list. This kind of a list is called nested list. Got it? And now let us see how to create a list by using the list method. It is not that you have to always create a list with the help of square brackets followed by the elements separated by commas. Even it is also possible to create a list by using the list method. So list method, this is the syntax for the list method, list parenthesis. So by using this method also we can create a list. See here what they have done. This is a built-in method actually, this list parenthesis. So list 1 equal to list of input of enter the values. So they have used the input method within the list method. So what will happen once this enter the value gets printed over here, whatever value you give here, that will be considered as a string. So if it is a string or a number or anything, a floating point number, what will happen? Everything gets stored in the form of index position only, I have told you, right? So what will happen? This h will take a separate index position. This I will take a separate index position. Similarly, the space will also be considered as one character. So that will also hold one index position. So for each and every character will be displayed in the form of a string, a separate string like this in the list. So this is how it gets displayed. And now let us see how to access the elements in a list. So here we have discussed so far how to access the entire elements of the list. But if I wanted to access only one particular element from the list, I have to make use of the index position I have told you. So index position is nothing but in the string concept we have discussed how all the characters get stored in the different slots, and we will make use of the index position to access each and every element. In the same form we will be accessing the elements in the list also. So each element in the list, if you see, will hold an index, and the first index always starts from 0, the second index moves on with 1, and third index will get 2. So it keeps going in an increasing order. So to access the element, you have to make use of the square bracket along with the variable, and inside the square bracket you have to specify the index position. So by using that you can access the elements in the list. So when we are indexing, we can make use of the positive index or we can make use of the negative index while accessing the elements. So it is possible to access the elements in two different ways. So let us see how this positive index and negative index can be assigned and how the elements can be accessed using the positive and negative index. Let us see this. So look at this example. List 1 is a variable where it consists of 10 elements. So 10 elements in the sense, this see here how they have assigned the positive and negative index. So positive index always starts from left to right and the negative index always starts from right to left. So when you're accessing elements using the positive index, you have to make use of this index position respectively. So if I wanted to access 80, I should give the index position as 7. If I wanted to access 90, I should give the index position as 8. In case if you are using the negative index and accessing the value, you have to give the negative index position. So if I give -2 as the index position, then 90 will be accessed. If I give -8, then 30 will be accessed. So based on this, let us see an example so that you will understand even more clear. So if you see here, each element in the list can be accessed using the indexes enclosed inside the square brackets I have told you. So list 1, as usual, they have given the elements here, and if you give list 1 or print of list 1, both will work in the same way. So the entire list gets printed here. But if I wanted to access one particular element out of the entire 10 elements, what I have to do is use the variable along with the square bracket. So list 1 of 0 if I give, what will happen? In the 0th position you have the value 10. So that 10 will be accessed. Even you can refer with the previous example. So see here. In the 0th position, you have the value 10. So that 10 will be retrieved and printed. Again, list 1 of 6 if you consider 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 70 will be accessed and displayed over here. Similarly, if I give list 1 of 9, so in the 9th position, what do you have here? In the 6th position, you have 70. So 7, 8, and 9. So in the 9th index position you have the value 100. So 100 will be retrieved. In case if I'm accessing the index, if I'm going to access the values using the negative index, I can do so with the help of the negative index position. See here they have given -10. So -10, where does it come actually? -1, 2, 3, 4. Always I have told you negative index starts from -1 and you should start from right to left. So in the place of -10 you have the value 10. So the 10 will be displayed. In the place of -5 you have the value 60. So that 60 will be displayed. So got it. So this is how you will access the elements using the positive index as well as the negative index from the list. So even few more examples they have given here. If you see here, list 1 equal to some even numbers they have given, and for the even numbers, see what they have done. So list 1 of 0 if I give, in the 0th position you have the value 2. So that 2 will be retrieved. Similarly in the position of 3, what do you have? 0, 1, 2 and 3. 8 will be retrieved. But if you try to access the values which is out of the index range, it will show an error stating that it is the list index is out of range, because here the index position they have given here is 15, but how many index positions we have? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only till 5 index positions we have, right? If you try to access more than 5, it will display an error message. So we should not try to access the values which is out of the index range. And now list one of 1 plus 4. It is not that you have to access based on the index positions alone. You can even access by using the arithmetic operators like plus and minus also. So if I give list one of 1 plus 4, what is the count of 1 plus 4? 5. So it will directly go to the fifth position. So in fifth position you have the value 12, that will be retrieved. Similarly, if I give minus 1, in minus 1 you have 12, and even based on the length of the list also you can access the values. So n is a variable, and for that variable what they have given, what they have done, they have used the length function. So length function we will use here to find the length of the list, that is the overall elements that you have in the list. So length of list 1 if you give, what will happen? How many elements you have here? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 0 till 5, if you count the overall elements you have here is 6. That 6 will be assigned to the variable n, and if you give print of n, 6 will be printed. And even in this particular method also you can use. So if I give n minus 1, what is the value of n now? So n is 6. So 6 minus 1, if I give, what is the value of 6 minus 1? 5. So the value of 5 is 12. The 12 will be retrieved. You got it? So this is how we can access the elements of the list in many different ways. So there are many possibilities to access the element, and there is not such only one possible conditions and all. And list are mutable. I have told you the values of the list can be changed, right? So if you look at this example, you will understand how you can change the values of the list. So that too, based on the index position, you can change it. So if you consider list 1, red, green, blue and orange. So 4 different string values has been given within the list. So 0th position you have red, and in first position you have green. So overall you have 4 elements, but according to the index you have 0 till 3. So they are trying to change the third position as from orange to black. So list 1 of 3 equal to black they have given. That is, they are assigning the value black to the index position 3. So in the index position 3 you have orange. So this orange will be replaced with black. And if you try to print this, see what happens. Orange has been replaced with black. So like this you can change the list values. And now traversing a list. So what do you mean by traversing? Traversing means accessing all the elements of the list one after the other. Yes, that can be done here. So even this traversing concept we have discussed in the string concept, right? So accessing each and every element in the list, you can to access each and every element of the list, you can make use of for loop, or you can make use of the while loop even. So let us see how to make use of the for loop in this case. So list 7 equal to Python, they have given separate strings they have created. So overall, if you see, you have 6 elements over here inside the list 7. So the for is a loop, and then I is the control variable, and in is the operator, and list 7 here the value has been already assigned to list 7. So this control variable I will check whether the values are present inside the list 7 or not. So each and every value will be assigned to the control variable I, and if the condition is going to be true, what will happen? That value gets printed over here. So once the letter P is printed, it will iterate with the next value Y. Again it will iterate to the next value T, then H, then O, then N. So this one using the in operator and without the range function. And in the next example we are going to see by how to make use of the range function in the list concept. So if you see here, list 1 equal to the same list they have created, and they are trying to find the length of the list. So n is a variable, and for that variable they have used the function length of list 1. So this length of list 1, actually len is a function, it is an inbuilt function. It helps you to count the total number of characters in a string. So if I give length of list 1, how many characters do you have here? Totally 6 characters I have, and that 6 will be assigned to this n variable. So now the value of n is 6. So for I in range of 6, so 6 times it will iterate through the list. And if I give print of first value, P will be assigned to the I variable, and list 1 of I, if I say in the first index position you have P. That is the 0th position, you have P. That P will be printed. Right, and again it will move on with the next iteration, again it will move on with the next iteration, so continuously it will iterate for 6 times, and once the loop has exhausted, it will come out of the loop and it will print the total number of characters are 6. That gets printed over here like this. So this is how it works, traversing through list using the for loop. And in the next class we will be discussing about the operations on list. I hope you understood till whatever we have discussed today. Thank you, children.